All right, gentlemen. This is a series that I want to start called Brain versus Universe Truisms.
Mm,
Okay?
I like it.
These are a series of ideas in which my brain says one thing, and what my brain is saying seems very clear and obvious to me. But the universe, or other people, most other people, is telling me otherwise.
Mm. Yes.
Does that make sense?
No,
Does
it
that
makes perfect
distinction
sense.
make sense? Okay, so here's my first one that I'd like to begin with. My brain says Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James. The universe says LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant. I couldn't disagree more. And I think it's very, very clear who the better player is.
So tell me what's on your brain with Kobe. Is it the footwork? Is it the three? Is it his jumper? Is it his free throw shooting, his high percentages?
You mean all of the above?
Is it his finals record?
Is it his finals record? Is it
His alpha mentality, the killer, the Mamba?
You could listen, if I'm going to give LeBron James, if we talk all the different categories, shooting, defense, passing, all the stuff, right? I can give LeBron James passing maybe. Maybe. I know LeBron James is considered an all-time great passer. I think he is. But Kobe Bryant was a great passer as well. He's not known for it because he didn't, like, the assist stat is not the key component to great passing. And people act as though it is. Unless the person's averaging 11 assists, they're not a great passer. That's not the way passing. You have to make multiple passes on one possession.
Is Russell Westbrook a better passer than Chris Paul?
Right. No,
he averages more assists.
He does. But, yeah, clearly.
Right.
So, but even if I concede on that one, I'll give you passing. I'll give it to you. Take it. The universe, who has LeBron James, you want passing? You can have that one. I'll give it to you. Defense, not close.
Not really.
Kobe Bryant was a 9-time
first team all defense.
First team all defense player.
And he never didn't make an all defensive team. First, second, and third, unless his last 2 years, no.
Yeah.
But his last 2 years, he was playing after an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
He was 36 years old.
He was an all defensive player, I believe, like 13 seasons, something like that, total.
And what you're not saying, just to be clear, you're not saying the universe is wrong to consider LeBron James an all-time great. You're saying that you just don't think he's better than Kobe.
Exactly.
Because he's a contemporary.
Right.
See, the Jordan discussion, and I see that man behind you hanging there in all his glory.
That's the Olympic jersey, man.
Behold,
throw that up there, man.
The pale horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he wasn't a contemporary of LeBron James. LeBron James was, briefly, a contemporary of Kobe Bryant. And I remember, as a little high schooler, out there playing on the blacktop, Kobe's going to be in the finals. LeBron, please get there. Yeah. I want to see it.
Yeah. We all wanted to see
Everybody
Kobe
wants to
versus LeBron.
And they were trying to pass the baton to LeBron way before. They tried to give him the baton when he came into the league. Yeah. If we're being honest, his first year, people were like, he's the future of the league. They're not doing that with Zion. No. And Zion's actually just as effective right now as LeBron was in his first couple years.
First couple years, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Some people think that's blasphemous, but Zion looks good, man.
He does. Those numbers ain't all that different.
Oh, he can't shoot. Well, LeBron's not the greatest jump shooter ever.
So that segues me flawlessly into my next one, which is I'm not conceding on defense with Kobe and LeBron. Kobe is the better defensive player. LeBron has more chase down blocks, sure, but once again, just like the assist stat is not the key component in passing, not the only thing. Chase down blocks are not the only thing to defense, not even by a long shot. Kobe Bryant was a better defensive player. Shooting, it's not close. It's not close. It's not close.
Mid-range.
Not close at all.
Free throw.
Not close at all.
At the basket.
Maybe. I can maybe give that one to LeBron.
He's a freight train going down
He's a freak of nature. Yeah. I can maybe give around the basket to LeBron, but that's debatable. Mid-range, not debatable. Free throw line, not debatable. 3-point line, maybe about, because Kobe was never a bit. But if Kobe had been born 10 years later or 15 years later, you think Kobe Bryant wouldn't have been an impeccable 3-point shooter too?
No, he'd have been fine.
If he had been born later, of course. That wasn't even a thing that the 3-point shot was not nearly as important to that generation of basketball player. And so you had specialist guys that did the 3-point thing.
Ray
now
Allen.
you can't even be a superstar and not be able to hit the 3-ball, it seems.
Yeah.
So even if they're about equal from 3 and about equal from right in the paint, mid-range free throw goes Kobe's way. And those aren't close. Those are not close. People don't talk about how bad LeBron James has been from the free throw line. If LeBron James had shot like 80% from the line, which is above average but not great.
Right. If he shot Tim Duncan like numbers from the free throw line.
I believe the all-time average from the free throw line is 70%. That's average for all across generations and players. It's like right at 70%. If he shot 80, which is a little bit better than average, he would be totally unstoppable. Same thing with Shaq.
Okay,
let me shoot free throws.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second,
All
because
right.
I know there'll be people that hear this and they're thinking that I'm not asking you the appropriate questions to defend LeBron James.
Okay.
LeBron James did not have Phil Jackson. He was drafted to Cleveland for an owner that really didn't like him. Let's just be blunt about this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I never got too hard on him for going to Miami, because of how shitty the situation was in Cleveland.
Yes.
Although I wish if he left, he'd have went and did something different, not go join up with an already made championship, caliber player in Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that LeBron, this is tough, man. LeBron was LeBron's best team. How does it stack up against Kobe's best team if they went head to head?
Probably not even.
He wouldn't go 7 games, would it?
I don't know about that, actually. LeBron's best teams versus Kobe's best teams. Kobe's best teams were, of course, the Shaquille O'Neal years, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the third best player on those teams? Derek Fisher? Robert Horry?
These are good points.
Yeah.
The third best guy on those Lakers teams was not as good as Chris Bosh was.
But what is
Kevin Love.
Tristan Thompson going to do with Shaq?
True.
I think that'd be a problem.
Right. You had so in Kobe and Shaq, you had 2 of the top 5 players in the league together in the middle of their primes right then. And then after you got to the third spot, things went off a massive cliff because the team was clearly top heavy. Yeah. LeBron James has had teams that were, I think, just talent-wise on a piece of paper. Like, when LeBron James went to – see, it's like revisionist history with this to me. Because when LeBron James went to Dwayne Wade and they brought in Chris Bosh and do the whole Miami thing, we're not going to win 1 championship or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And they weren't supposed to win 1, 2, or 3. They were supposed to win 5 or 6 rings because they had that much talent on the team, and it didn't happen. And now everybody goes, well, clearly the Kobe Bryant, Shaq Lakers were more talent. No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I agree. Yes. Now, to be fair to Kobe, give Kobe Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Tyronn Lue is a good coach. I think Ty Lue's a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron has a tendency of allowing the media to paint a narrative that he has shitty coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So,
everywhere he goes, no one appreciates or respects the coach.
Yeah.
And that's because of LeBron James.
Right. Speaking back to your point about the coaching, LeBron James can have whatever coach he wants.
He's proven this.
He can have whatever coach he wants. He can have pretty much whatever player he wants to get.
He's got his own agency, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
He decides who the general manager is going to be. LeBron James is probably the most powerful NBA player maybe ever. Maybe to rival Michael Jordan's time.
I don't think it's that close.
But LeBron James is, with his sports agency, right? Half the Los Angeles Lakers are signed to LeBron James's sports agency.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, but people call him Le GM for good reason.
He's earned that moniker.
I don't give LeBron James I haven't played with a great coach. Like you could have whatever great coach you want. If LeBron James said, I want Greg Popovich.
Oh, he could have went down there.
Pay the man whatever he wants, or you go take your ass to San Antonio. God knows they got the room.
He don't want that creek, man.
Yeah,
that river wall.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's scared of he's gonna know it's DeMar DeRozan's team.
He doesn't want Savannah eating those churros down there.
Oh, there's all them churros down there in San Antonio. So shooting, defense, go the way of Kobe Bryant. And then if we just start talking intangibles, man.
Clutch.
Again, come on, man.
At the end of the game, who do you want to have the ball, LeBron James or Kobe?
Kobe Bryant had 9 game winners in one season, one regular season. The amount of opportunities you get to hit a game winner are minuscule. That's why they're so crazy. It's because they rarely happen. 9 times in one season? 9 times? That's nuts. That's over 10% of the games he hit a game winner in.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy as fuck.
Yeah, and he took he was the best bad shot taker of all time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that was because some of those teams he was on towards the end where they didn't have people that can even shoot the ball.
Right.
Kwame Brown.
And listen, see,
Lamar
again,
Odom.
If we talk about, even if I concede on the Kobe and Shaq teams being hyper talented, right? What about the other 2 championships where the second best player was Pau Gasol?
Yes. Pau Gasol wasn't a top 15 player at his best. He wasn't.
No.
History would say he was, but I seen a Pau Gasol that wasn't extremely old on the Spurs, and I went, oh, he got away from that dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Kobe Bryant was the driving force of that team. He was the best player by a country mile. It wasn't even close. And Lamar Odom, Trevor Ariza, Powell, they were all very good players. They all did their jobs. They all played well. But Kobe Bryant was the machine that made them 2 championships happen, period. And I don't know, LeBron James, I can say that about one of his championships, I feel like. 2, the Lakers won. And the Warriors won.
Okay. So
Lakers and Warriors. We not finna pretend like every championship is created equally, because that's not true.
No, definitely not true. Kevin Durant's rings way less than almost anyone that's ever played the game. That's my opinion.
They're weightless because they mean nothing.
And that's why he goes, I just, winning championships. It doesn't do nothing for me.
It doesn't do nothing for me. Yeah, that's because you reverse engineered the success. You cared more about the optics of success than actual success.
Okay, so we both agree Kevin Durant can be kind of goofy.
Shit.
But LeBron James is a highly intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what I'm about to say is a little bit, it's an unfortunate and uncomfortable territory to go into, but we have to, in the Kobe versus LeBron segment, we have to talk about the IQ. And as smart as LeBron James is, if you put a gun to my head and ask me who has more brain power between the 2 of those guys, Kobe Bryant might be the smartest athlete we've ever seen.
Yes.
I bet you Kobe has a 147 IQ or something like that. I guarantee he does.
Right. Yeah. And for people who respect intellect, which we respect intellect over here, man. Oh my God. How'd that get there, man? I'm gonna get these
Bryant
framed.
right there, man.
I'm gonna get these framed on me. These art books are fucking great.
And he doesn't get enough credit for. He was in Los Angeles.
Right.
He took up the most pressure in pro basketball.
Yes.
Right. Period.
Winning
again,
a championship for Cleveland's house money. I'm sorry. I know that's harsh, but just getting to a championship in Cleveland's house money. You're not expected to win in fucking Cleveland. And I'm sorry, but the Miami Heat, Miami's cool, but its history isn't one of like year after year after year of competitive fervor.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah. And Lakers fans are a group I respect a lot, actually.
Lakers fans are ruthless.
I like that about them, too. Unless you got 2 championships.
Don't talk to us.
Don't fucking talk to me.
They do not care.
One. One?
I
You
called-
talking to me about one championship? Nah, cuz, beat it.
There's this guy that I know, diehard Lakers fan, and I said, "Look, man, that ring in the bubble's a Mickey Mouse ring." And he got insulted, but he went, "You know what?" He's like, "I kind of feel the same way."
Yeah.
He's like, "I can't completely trust this guy." He's talking about LeBron
Yeah.
because he feels like what LeBron's going to do, and this was what was explained to me. And I've seen people in comment sections, I've seen channels for Laker Nation talk about this, and they're afraid that LeBron is just going to leave. He's going to leave an empty cabinet when he's gone.
Yeah.
He's going to leave a broken down Anthony Davis, who's hated by Laker Nation by this point in time because he's banged up all the time. And without LeBron or somebody sitting there going, "Hey, man, you're great. Don't you know you're great, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're amazing at what
Yeah.
you do, bro."
Yep.
He's the dude that needs that.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting seeing LeBron James play that role that Dwayne Wade played for him all those years ago.
And I like
Uh-huh.
it, you know.
Like, hey, you know how incredible you are? What is wrong with you? Have some pride. Go drop 40 because no one out there can stop you. What are you doing? Dwayne Wade had the exact same conversation with LeBron James. Listen, and now nobody had to tell this guy that.
No.
No one
Well-
ever had to tell this. He was insulted when people did try to tell him. That story about when he shot all those air balls at the end
That's
of
where I was
that
going with this,
series
yeah.
against Utah.
Mhm.
He shot like whatever, 4 or 5 air balls in a row. And he said Shaq came, put his arm around him. It's like, "It's all right, big fella. You're going to get him next year." And he went, "Get off me." I know that. My legs were tired. Every shot was straight. My legs were tired. I need to go squat more. And he went and started squatting more. And then the next year, his legs wasn't tired in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Like the cold, hard, like the ability to just go, like, let me get over myself
Uh-huh.
and let me put myself to the side and just assess what happened. Okay,
Right.
what's the solution to what happened?
Mhm.
Okay, implement the solution. Keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah.
Great players do that.
They do. Tom Brady, prime example.
The
He-
best players do.
He started to throw his arm out later in his career,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "I'm not throwing it correctly." He went back to his high school football coach.
I reached a local maximum.
Yes.
Yes,
Shout out to Elon.
yes.
Mhm.
I reached a local maximum.
Knowing when you've plateaued, that is part of the IQ, or at least the intuitive intelligence we're talking about. Most people don't know when they hit their plateau. They just start playing out their mind, and then before you know it, like Derrick Rose or somebody like that, they just go into they're irrelevant 2 or 3 years after hitting their prime. And it's not always because of injuries. I think a lot of it's mentality. If you ain't ready to go out there and kill somebody,
Mhm.
game in, game out, if you're
Yeah.
not locked in, and I don't care what you're doing in life. If you go on a stage, say you're in a play, or you're in a rap battle, or
Mhm.
you're doing anything that's a high leverage pressure moment that's testing your manhood, and you have to go out there and go, "You know what? I don't feel good. I'm kind of sick. I have a headache. I'm having issues with my girlfriend, but I'm just going to take all that shit, and I'm going to give it to you on this court.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you on the stage,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I'm going to give you something I'm going to give you something you ain't ever seen before."
You gonna remember this ass
Yeah.
whipping. You gonna remember this shit.
And it's not just for the person you're whipping.
Yeah.
It's for everyone
Everybody
watching.
else. Everybody else, yeah.
And these guys we're talking about, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Bean, Bryant, they know that.
yeah.
They understand that.
Yeah, man. Yep. I got Kobe Bryant on my top 5 list ahead of LeBron James. Yes, my number 1 player ever,
Mhm.
Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh.
Number 2,
Number 2, Kobe Bryant.
All right.
Kobe's 2.
I have Kobe at number 2.
I have
Yes.
Kareem at 2, but I don't think
I'm not mad at
Yeah,
Kareem
that's
at
not
2.
a-
You
yeah.
can't go. Yeah, I'm not mad at that in the slightest. That we're gonna talk about Kareem one day.
we need to
the
get
disrespect.
we need to get a sky hook in here, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's so I get it. It's not as sexy
Mhm.
as a fadeaway.
But it's
Mhm.
effective. I
Yep.
done
Like
told
Timmy Duncan with the
exactly.
backboard.
Yep.
What are we gonna do with it?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
ugly. It's kind of it's like the granny shot from the free throw line.
Mhm.
It's efficient, it's effective, and if you don't
Yeah.
get your pride out the way, he's gonna whip your ass.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you better get over it.
It's gonna happen, man.
Too slow.
Too slow. You almost had me. Almost.
Nice
Not
try.
close enough. So yeah, and also Kobe still has. I know LeBron is still going, but Kobe still has one more championship than he does as of right now. And again, Kobe got 2 of those with Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, a 35-year-old Derek Fisher.
Kobe's Batman, bro. He's
I
Batman.
mean-
He gets to the chopper, goes back to his house.
Yep.
Black
know,
Bruce Wayne, man.
Away
Yeah.
from everybody
And
else.
he gets down to business. Batman doesn't waste time in interrogations.
Yeah.
Where is he? Where's the trigger? That's Kobe, okay? He gets right down to it.
Yeah,
Where's the
yeah.
basketball? Give it to me
Uh-huh.
Yep.
because I'm not scared.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're terrified.
Yep.
Yep.
I see you sweating. I see your legs trembling at the free throw
Mhm.
I
line.
see it all over
I see
you.
your asshole puckering.
I see it all over you. I see it all over you. And then come to find out, he's also an excellent writer.
Yep.
He won an Academy Award. He
Man,
won
for
an
a short
Academy
film.
Award. Now,
I mean,
I don't
that's
think
just
people understand
how incredible that is.
how incredible that is.
That
And he's
is-
never done it before. His first go around
He won an Academy
in
Award.
storytelling, he wins an Academy
My
Award.
God, that's nuts.
It's nuts.
And he earned
Knowing
the
the peop-
win.
Yeah.
Knowing the
'Cause that shit was-
composers and
That was
the
a
animators and
beautiful
stuff to
short film.
collaborate with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
You
was a
know.
beautiful short film.
it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredibly well done.
Man.
Come on, man. The talk is different.
And he was planning out a studio. He was planning out to produce even more.
Hey, listen, I'll be closely following the Bryant family and
Mhm, their estate.
You know, everything
Yeah.
that they do going forward. I know they had some plans for some sneaker stuff and clothing line stuff, but I'll be following closely. I need to find out about this Mambasita thing. I've
Clothing
heard
line that they're
about
coming out.
a couple of times. I
Yeah.
think it might just be women's wear,
Okay.
but either way, I just want to support because I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
the Bryant
Yeah, Kobe. I felt
estate.
like Jordan was his idol on the court,
Uh-huh.
but off the court, it seems like I'm not saying that Jordan wasn't up there, but the guy he seemed to me like was someone like Jerry West.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
Jerry West was his personal mentor. I mean, if you listen to Jerry West talk about it, he was going to go to the Clippers, and he said, "You can't go there. I know that man."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and this
right.
is before all these horrible
Yeah.
revelations have come
And
out
we
about
found
Donald
out.
Sterling.
Donald Sterling, yeah.
But Jerry West was kind of a godfather figure to a lot of people in the NBA. And he's the most successful executive in the history of pro sports, arguably.
mm-hmm.
Arguably.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good he is. And it's not because, you know, everyone would say some of these managers for the Yankees or something like that. No, any team that can just pay off, that can just pay the house for everybody. No, Jerry West, everywhere the dude went, success.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He changed him.
I really do think, and I know this is a crazy take, that the stock in the Clippers is higher than the Lakers in the next 10 years. The Lakers are just borrowing and cheating time right now.
Mm-hmm.
They found a cheat code. They got a 36-year-old LeBron James who just happens to own an agency, and he used his, you know, shenanigans to get Anthony Davis on the team.
Yep.
And I'm calling it that because no one wants to say what's obvious, which that was tampering, and
Right.
you know, they accuse everybody else about it. They did an
Yeah.
official investigation on Kawhi Leonard for getting Paul George, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like something no one knew about was happening. LeBron James did this shit in front of everyone's
In
face.
front of everybody's face, and they smooth pretended like that shit did not happen.
Yeah,
I don't know how he hasn't.
He
gotten
is
in
the
trouble
most
for tampering.
protected
I don't-
athlete.
I don't get it.
he's maybe this. Am I wrong? Is there a more protected athlete?
No.
Maybe Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Tim Tebow. But of players that are actually good at the professional
Yes.
level,
yeah.
I'd say
LeBron
LeBron.
is number one in that
I think that's it.
category.
Who
yeah.
who else? Who else has the media defended? Even when the argument's so clearly you should criticize the man. It isn't even like personal. It's like
Right.
he dropped the ball.
Yeah.
When he scored 51 points and quit on his team in overtime and pouted and sat on the bench and broke his hand in the fucking locker room,
Mm-hmm.
that's not mature.
No.
That's not this King James. That's insecurity. Now everyone can go through that. It can happen to a middle-aged man. He's human. But just acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Don't come on, don't cap on TV every day on ESPN and act like this man had a right. Well, he didn't know J.R. Smith was going to forget his ABCs. Okay,
Yeah.
take the game over. If you
Mhm.
can't trust these other fucking guys to get the job done,
Yeah.
if Grant Hill can't hit a free throw, with Grant Hill, right?
Grant Hill.
Yeah,
Who you talking about from the Warriors? That
No,
no.
no, for Cleveland. At the end of that game, game one against the Warriors,
Right.
the KD Warriors, he had
Right.
51 points. LeBron James is driving, and he gave it to Hill, right?
Oh yeah.
And then
What's
he misses he missed one free throw.
that point guard. Yeah,
And then
light-skinned
J.R. Smith
dude.
gets the rebound, and we
Right.
all know what happens after that.
Right. Yeah.
At no point in time is this LeBron's fault. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
If Kobe did the same thing, they would.
He would have been crucified the next day.
And he did do similar things in his career, and he did get crucified. Kobe Bryant, listen, I have to say this because I know
Yeah.
you're being too charitable to say what I'm about to say. They did not give a fuck about that man after the Colorado
You
incident.
better preach.
They did not care about this man. They gave Steve Nash, who I like Steve Nash. Steve Nash
Preach.
averaged 18 points one season. 18 points, not even a double-double in terms of assists. And he shot less than 50% from the field, and he won MVP. One of the most underwhelming MVPs in the history of the league. Meanwhile, you had Kobe out there dropping 81.
Yeah. That was the
60,
81
60,
game
60,
season.
50, 40.
Yep.
Had his team in 5th place in the West with Tim Duncan
By himself.
by himself. And the moment he got one more All-Star, two championships in a row, and he went to 3 of them.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for, Lakers management beginning to suck because the late Jerry Buss, the late
Dr. Buss, yeah.
the late great Dr. Buss died, and his incompetent children at the time took over, specifically his son, who was an alcoholic and had a gambling addiction, and that is who Kobe had to win through. That was his front office.
Yeah.
He didn't jollymander. He didn't go, hey, come team up with me. Matter of fact, when people tried to team up with him, like Dwight Howard, he goes, I don't need him.
It didn't even,
I just whipped his ass. Why do I need him?
Yeah.
I'm not bowing down to nobody.
Soft.
He did that to Jordan. We all know the story. Black Jesus. Black who?
What?
Man,
Black
relax.
Jesus, I'm going to fuck him up when I see him just because you called him Black Jesus. I'm going to kick his ass when I see him.
Tom Brady, Robert Kraft, you're the best. I am the best decision you've ever made in your life.
What do you think would have happened if that had been Kobe playing for Cleveland and J.R. Smith forgot?
Kobe might have smacked him.
Kobe might have punched him in his shit. But
Yeah.
I think Kobe would have went crazy in that overtime.
But I do think
would've been
Kobe would have
crazy.
went. I do think
He would've
because
been crazy.
he's so practical. I think he would have went. What's over? Let's go. Let's get this win.
Yeah.
Let's get. I've seen him do it. LeBron though. LeBron has a God complex. I know I say this about a lot of people, but I think it's true. That's why I say it. Anyone that starts seeing themselves in a movie and everyone else is living in it,
Right.
that's a problem. And
Yeah.
LeBron does do that.
I'm like,
If the NBA went out of relevance, by the way, the ratings for the NBA are lower than they've ever been. And for some reason, ESPN thinks that the only way to save the ratings is to give us more LeBron James. And I think that's the opposite of what people want.
Yes.
Real basketball people are tired of hearing about this man when he ties his shoes
yeah.
or when he sings about tacos,
Yeah.
or he drops a new, podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of
He
the,
says some crazy shit in those podcasts he doesn't get criticized for,
Yeah.
with the exception of Skip Bayless, and no one takes Skip seriously, so it doesn't really matter. Skip is that uncle that we all love and we deal with and we appreciate. We're going to cry when he's gone, but he's also not objective, so that's the end of the discussion. But in terms of everyone else, like Kevin Durant, I'm not a KD fan. You know that. But when he said the beat writers, swan over LeBron James, that even the beat writers, meaning even the little lowly reporters who, if they really want to make a name for themselves, they should go find a new topic to write about because everyone's writing about LeBron James. You're not unique. I'm not going to read that article. If Los Angeles Times, which they release a lot of LeBron stuff, I never read it. Why? Because I know the information already. Nothing's changed. The man's 36 years old. I do read new information on Zion. I am curious to see the development of his game. I do keep up with Giannis. I'm not the biggest Giannis fan, but at least there's a story yet to be told. LeBron's story, for me, he's moving into the after basketball aspect of his life, but he's still playing and he still wants you to, I don't know, there's been a few years when he wasn't ranked number one that he puts his stats on his shirt and he comes out and I don't know. Jordan and Kobe, they never did shit like that.
Yeah.
They did not. No.
At best, they would say things like, I won 6 championships. I never lost any.
Yeah.
And then they hate. You know how much hate Jordan gets for just talking about his championships? most of these new age players go, championships ain't everything. He's just,
Because
he's just one of those old heads that
Yeah.
that has too much testosterone or something.
Sorry,
Toxic,
motherfuckers. Yeah.
toxic masculinity. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but a lot of this is
Yeah.
cultural appropriation, and like, I'll say it. LeBron James is the black dude that white people can kind of like get behind.
You know what, Cole?
Some of these guys were too real. You're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree
he's
with
great,
you.
but I do think
I agree with you fully. I think there's
I
certainly.
think it's clear.
I watched the video yesterday with this ex-Black Panther breaking down all these scenes from movies that portrayed the Black Panthers, and she was saying that kind of stuff. Like, they couldn't put the real shit up here because it doesn't speak to the narrative. Right?
No.
It doesn't speak to the narrative about and so yeah, I agree.
Listen, when we
It ain't gonna matter though.
bring improv
It ain't
troops
gonna matter.
in the same room with battle rap,
Yeah.
and with Chekhov and Strindberg, all these
Yeah.
controversial figures, and we put them in this melting pot, try to see what happens.
Yeah.
My liberal friends, their minds are going to explode.
I've told you this. I don't.
They're going to explode, and it's shame on them, because what we're doing
Yeah.
is just trying to put a light on some real shit.
Yeah.
You know, idealism is it's, I don't want to say it's overrated, but it's overvalued.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's just two men,
Mm-hmm.
two women
Mm.
performing greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serena Williams winning the Masters, right?
While pregnant.
While pregnant is it ain't the Masters, Jesus Christ.
The U.S. Open.
She won the U.S. Open. I seen golf on the other day.
And still got golf on the
Tiger
brain.
Woods ACL,
Yeah.
torn ACL, went
Yeah.
out there and whipped ass.
Man.
That's real.
Yeah.
Damn
Tiger
it.
Woods,
Tiger Woods is another one.
he was one. I mean, they destroyed him.
Disrespect.
They
really did.
destroyed him.
They all
And listen,
disrespectful.
I'm not going to defend what he did.
No.
But goddamn, hasn't the guy paid his sins?
At this point.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that again, the Colorado thing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying what happened there. I'm just saying we can't be stupid and act like that didn't affect his status as the face of the league, because it was going to be him.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods,
I'm sorry.
Tiger Woods, no one even endorses this man anymore.
No.
And recently, didn't he get drunk and ran off the road the other day?
I don't know if he
I
was
don't know.
drunk or not. I
Yeah.
know he ran off the road. I
thought somebody
did see
said. I
that.
thought I'd read something about
Yeah.
they found
But-
alcohol in his
but you
blood
know
or
what?
something.
I am gonna just go. You know what? I don't give a fuck that he cheated on his wife.
In the context of this discussion, it's not what we're talking about, right?
It's irrelevant, guys. That is 100 millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Wilt Chamberlain used to do blow while strippers.
Yep.
He was still the best in the league at the time.
Because he was Wilt fucking Chamberlain. Were you in here for that video we watched the other day about Wilt Chamberlain?
No.
Being a
don't think so.
champion track athlete, and he was like first place in the world in
Multi-sports,
several
yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
Just a freak from the beginning.
It's a
Just
monster.
big, tall, lanky,
Jumping
jacked
from the free throw
motherfucker.
line,
Yeah.
dunking.
His
Said he had
vertical.
did they say 50 inches? Or
Yeah,
like 48,
something.
49 inch vertical?
He could play in today's league. He's that
Yeah, he was a
athletic.
freak. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Kobe Bryant, better than LeBron James. This is one of the brain versus universe truisms. We're all in agreement on this topic. You're free to disagree. Let us know. That's totally cool. And we're gonna be coming with some more as we go. Again, things that seem obvious to us that the universe seems to disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
And the universe is cold and indifferent.
Yeah.
So our response is
Yeah.
you have to match that energy.
Yeah.
You know?
that same energy. Or you can give us some of your truisms.
I mean, it could
if
be-
you'd
it-
like to.
You know?
Yeah.
If
Leave
you,
a couple
what's
in the
something
comments.
that you think is obvious that people make you feel? That's why these fucking people make me feel like I'm crazy saying Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James, but it seems so clear. I don't get it.
People think
I
I'm
don't
crazy
get
when I say I think we live in a cave.
Yeah.
Like why should we assume we figured everything out?
Right.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of chimps.
Of course we
Mhm.
haven't.
Of course we haven't.
It's disrespectful.
But it's I don't know, like academies and universities and those type of people, they don't like saying they don't have answers to questions.
Yes.
They say they love
Really?
asking questions, but I
But
don't
really?
believe them.
no, yeah, I was gonna say it
Because they the hate for philosophy. They feel like if you open those university platforms back up, a bunch of bad ideas and dangerous ideas will propagate again. Well, you know what? let's see if the good ideas went out, because some of these ideas that we're valuing as being good, they're not really that great, man.
You know what the next one is? You know what the next one is?
What's the next
Is
one?
consciousness contingent on a brain?
Yes.
That's the next one.
It's the
All
next
right.
one.
That's the
That's
next,
the next
truism.
video. All right, guys. So we're going to end it right there. Of course, if you like the content, you like what we're doing, go ahead and like, subscribe. Also hit that notification button right underneath this video. That's how you're going to be able to know exactly when each one of our content is going to be launching. Also, thank you all. We appreciate you all taking your time out to listen to us, watch us. Of course, welcome to the family, and we'll be with you all soon. Peace.